there are kind of two main rules that I try to implement as for my morning routine on Sundays, which means that I have a lot of time freed up. I don't just want to fill that time with social media. It's super easy to just use that to fill up the void. Let's get into my actual weekly review, projects that you want to accomplish that contributes to this greater vision. Organize your life in alignment with these values, live a lifestyle that supports these values and allows you to continue living by them. Right. So I definitely think it's important to take advantage of weekends and use them to create the life we want instead of escaping the life we have. But I also think it's just as important to take some time every week to kind of reset and recalibrate, make sure that we stay on track towards our real goals and set up the next week for success. For me, this tends to happen on Sundays. So in this video, I'll walk through my entire kind of Sunday reset routine, including my weekly review that I do every Sunday, which is a huge part of keeping my life and everything organized. All right, so there are kind of two main rules that I try to implement on Sundays. And the first one is no work on Sunday. So I've been really trying to not work at all on my YouTube channel, not take any calls if possible. And this is really so that I give myself some space to just not focus on work or YouTube or my day job or anything like that. And that means that when Monday comes around, I'm that much more eager to kind of get back to it and work on the channel again. I found that, working on things 7 days a week is nice, and that can work for a period of time, maybe if you're really trying to put in a lot of work. But after a while, that starts to catch up, and that lack of just like one day to reset starts to catch up with you, and things start to slide downhill, at least in my experience. So that's one rule. And then the second thing is just I try to get my weekly review done. So I'll go through that entire process, what my review actually consists of later in the video. But that's really the main thing that I have to get done on Sundays or before the week starts. So besides that, really the theme of Sundays is kind of just slowing down, taking things at a more leisurely pace, relaxing, not really pressuring myself to get a bunch of stuff done. One of the big things is spending time with family, my girlfriend, friends, whoever is kind of available. I'll really set aside a lot of time to just spend time with them, because that's something I value, and that's obviously an important part of life. And although I definitely take time during the week as well, I think having just a dedicated day on Sunday to really catch up with family, relax and stuff, go out during the day is really great. And then other things is just kind of resetting, cleaning up any loose ends, not work related, so not related to my YouTube channel or job or anything like that, but just kind of like housekeeping stuff, chores, cleaning up my physical environment, and of course, preparing for the next week. So really almost everything is optional for me on Sundays, other than maybe like getting the weekly review done. I intentionally try not to time block or anything on Sundays, because I think it's just valuable to keep things open one day a week and just let things go with the flow. It's good for just mental health, and it makes it so I found that then during the week I can stick to the time blocks and stuff better. It's more sustainable because I know that, okay, I'm going to have one day a week where I can kind of just let loose a little bit and not really worry about the time blocking and sticking to a schedule and getting all my tasks done and stuff. And then during the week, I can, make sure that I'm on my game. Now, as for my morning routine on Sundays, some things still generally stay pretty similar to how I do things during the week. So I've been trying to not sleep in too much, and at most like an extra 1 hour. So normally during the week, I wake up at around 6 a.m. So on Sundays, I'll set my alarm for like 7 a.m. Sometimes I'll still end up waking up at 6. Sometimes it ends up being closer to 7. But I do allow myself to get that extra hour if needed. I try not to sleep in any more than 1 hour, just because I think that will start to kind of mess with my general rhythm and everything. And going back to Monday, waking up at 6 again, if I sleep in until 10, 11 or something on Sunday, it's going to be a bit of a shock going back to my normal schedule on Monday. So allow myself a little bit of extra time, but not too much. And then I still tend to do my cold shower, meditate, and get some sunlight. Even on Sundays, I still do some of these habits because I genuinely enjoy doing them, even on my off day of Sunday, I guess, because it just makes me feel better. I think, every morning now it's I wake up and I still feel tired. I feel groggy like every other person in the morning. And I still want to get into a cold shower because I know I've done it enough times where I've associated the positive feeling after I'm done with the cold shower of being kind of energized, just all the grogginess kind of instantly washed out of me. So I'll still do that even on Sundays. I try to still get my meditation in, sunlight, but everything is maybe done at more of a leisurely pace. So during the week, I'm like up at 6 and I'm kind of not in a rush, but I'm trying to be really efficient with things. So it's like up at 6, straight to the cold shower, straight to meditation, sunlight, hydrate, all this stuff, because I want to get it all done by 6:30 because my time is kind of limited before I have to go to work and stuff. So I really try and get things done quickly in terms of the morning routine. On Sundays, I take a little bit more time at a leisurely pace. Other things I'll do is maybe read first thing in the morning. So usually reading happens for me kind of later in the day, in the evening before bed. Sunday, since it is more of a leisurely day, I might go outside. Lately, I mean, I've been in New York, so a couple of times I've gone to like Central Park and just spent the morning kind of reading in the park, which has been really nice, and a change of pace, getting some morning exercise as well, usually in the form of a walk or something outside. I'll try to do maybe some journaling, all of this type of stuff. If I have the time on Sunday, if I don't have any plans with friends or family, I'll just take extra time to do this stuff because it really helps me get into a good mental space. All right, so what do I do during the day? We talked a little bit about my morning routine and how it stays generally pretty much the same on Sundays, except I might do it at a more leisurely pace, maybe add in some other bonus kind of habits, maybe read a little bit in the morning or go outside more since I have some extra time. But as for during the day, the main thing, I try to avoid using social media, avoid just like going on YouTube and stuff, because as we established earlier, I try not to do any work on my YouTube channel or of course my day job on Sundays, which means that I have a lot of time freed up and I don't just want to fill that time with social media. It's super easy to just use that to fill up the void of empty time that you have, and I try not to do that. So once I establish that rule, then that means I have a lot of time, and the first priority is definitely spending extra time with friends or family. So I'll try my best, if possible, to make some plans in advance, maybe for Sunday with going out with my girlfriend or meeting up with some friends or just spending time with my family. So I'll keep Sunday kind of wide open for that. If I don't have loads of plans, people are busy, or maybe I just have some extra time, I'll try and knock out some other various chores around the home. So this might be just doing laundry, cleaning up my desk, cleaning up the home, any sort of small errands that I might have put off during the week. During my deep work sessions, maybe I remembered I needed to do some minor thing, but I obviously didn't do it during the week because I was busy doing deep work or working on something more important. And so a lot of that stuff will get kind of pushed off to the side and maybe they will get done on Sundays. Now, as for exercise, something I really want to try doing more of is doing something outside on Sunday. So during the week, I typically just go to the gym, lift weights. It's inside. I like it. It's great. But during the weekends, I think it would be good to switch things up a little bit. So I'm going to try and do more exercise outside, whether that means just going for a nice walk or something, a bike ride, maybe try and start playing some sports, pickleball or things like that, or meet up with friends for a workout just to switch things up a little bit from the week. But I still definitely try and get my exercise in on Sundays. So as you can see, like, although this is a Sunday reset routine and it's big deviation from my normal typical routine during the week, I still try to get some things done, and it's more for the benefit of just myself, my general health, mental health, and just overall happiness. So these are all things that I enjoy, and I try to make them as enjoyable as possible. I'm not really doing all these things because like I need to force myself to do these good habits. It's more because I've sat down and thought about kind of my ideal lifestyle, and I've done these things and I genuinely have come to enjoy them. So I try to make time for them on Sundays. But yeah, still do exercise definitely. And it's definitely possible that I only do, one of these activities, definitely for like the morning habits. I might not get to journaling. I might not get to the walk and the reading and the exercise with friends and, hanging out with family, friends, and my girlfriend. These are all just kind of options. So like if I've got some big plans, like maybe we're going on a big kind of day trip or something, I'm probably not going to get to all this stuff, and that's completely okay. Or maybe I don't have a lot of plans and I do get to all of them on this day. That's fine too. The point is that this one day during the week on Sundays, I really don't pressure myself to knock out a long list of tasks do XYZ. I really just try and go with the flow. And I think that kind of change of pace, being a little more flexible, a little less rigid, a little just more relaxed with things is really healthy and a great change of pace from during the week. Now, let's get into my actual weekly review. So this is kind of the one thing that I need to get done on Sundays. And if I'm really busy on Sunday and I know that I've got like some maybe day trip or something planned, some long outing, and I'm not going to have time to it, maybe I'll try and do my weekly review on Saturday or even potentially Monday morning if it comes to that. But I really do try and get this done on Sundays. And if you've seen my recent upload on how I organize my life or how to start organizing your life or something like that, I've been following a system similar to Cal Newport. I really like his thought process when it comes to a lot of this productivity and life organization stuff. So I touched a little bit on this weekly review in that, but I'll go into a little bit more depth here. And I really try to just allow myself 1 hour to this. I don't want this to be like a full day production because, as I said, the priority is kind of relaxing and doing all those other sort of more leisurely activities. And this is the one thing that I kind of had to think about work and just general life a little bit on Sundays through this weekly review. So I try to limit myself to just 1 hour. I think that's plenty of time. The first thing that I do is to sort through my task inbox. So I've been using just Apple reminders lately to kind of organize the different tasks that I need to do for my YouTube channel and my personal life and kind of just keep them in there in some different lists. And so throughout the week, as I think of various things that I need to do, I might just quickly capture them into my inbox. And sometimes during my daily review, I'll be able to kind of do a quick review of this inbox, but a lot of times things will end up piling up. And so I take the time on Sunday to really go through the whole list and sort things. A lot of it just ends up getting deleted because I realize, okay, maybe I don't actually really need to do this, or it's already been done, or it's not really relevant anymore. But if there are things that I want to do during the next week or the subsequent weeks, I'll organize them into their respective lists within my task manager. And I'll also clean out my kind of quick note inbox. So in addition to my reminders app for actual tasks, I'll also use just the Apple Notes on my phone. So I have it set up where if I press I don't know if you could see that. Here, I'll do it again. If I press the action button on my iPhone 15 Pro, it'll just activate this shortcut where it opens up just this notes document. And here's where I'll just write any sort of quick notes, ideas, thoughts right here into this notes app. If I'm on a call or something and I just need to quickly write something down, I might write it down here. Just various ideas, I'll just quickly capture them here. And at the end of the week, during my weekly review, I'll go through these ideas. Sometimes they're like video ideas, so I'll sort them into my Notion database, or sometimes it's just like me kind of rambling about some thoughts. I might put them into my journal, or sometimes it's just kind of like a reminder, just random things I'll organize, taking from my kind of quick note that I have there. And then the next thing I'll do is read through my values. So again, a big part of this life organization system is first establishing your values. Like, what are the things that really matter to you most in life? And really the purpose is to kind of organize your life in alignment with these values, live a lifestyle that supports these values and allows you to continue living by them. And so every Sunday during this weekly review, before I start planning out any of the other projects or tasks I'm going to do for that week, I quickly remind myself of my values. I kind of read through them out loud or in my head and just remind myself what I'm really doing everything for, what is actually really important for me. And then I will review my personal and professional plans. So I talked about this in that other video, but in addition to my values, a thing that I've been doing, and this comes from Cal Newport's system, is to establish just like a general vision for both your personal life and your professional life. So this is kind of a big picture thing. Okay, what do you want to do with your life in this area? Where do you see it going? What's kind of your ideal lifestyle, both professionally and personally? And I've kind of established this on this document, both kind of the vision and then also some general ideas for how I'm going to make that happen. So this includes kind of a general roadmap for where I see my YouTube channel going and the potential for that later down the line and the lifestyle that kind of comes with that. So I'll read through that to kind of remind myself of the direction that I'm headed in. And then after that, next step, this is step 5, I guess, is to review my quarterly plan. So every quarter, I'll go through my big picture values, personal and professional plans, and I'll establish a more specific plan for the next 3 months or so for that season of life. So my current quarterly plan is from July through the end of September, and it's got basically different projects that I want to do, things that I really want to accomplish by the end of September. And this basically takes a chunk of those big picture visions and gives you more of a time frame, more specific deadline, more specific projects that you want to accomplish that contributes to this greater vision. And so I'll take a look at that. And then step 6 is to review my plan, my weekly plan from last week. So any of the tasks that I decided for myself to do the last week that didn't get done, kind of, ask myself, why didn't that get done? Reflect on the things that I did in the previous week, and then identify the big high leverage tasks that will move the needle forward toward completing my quarterly plan and the tasks that basically I want to do for this coming week. So looking back at my quarterly plan, looking back at the previous week, what didn't get done that I want to do that will contribute towards the main projects that I want to get done this quarter. And I will basically take these and just write them on a physical sheet of paper. I don't have it here. Maybe I'll go get it real quick. All right, so as you can see, this is literally what I do. I'll just kind of make this master list on a sheet of paper. I like using a physical sheet of paper for this because it means that I can very easily just keep it out on my desk or tape it on the wall or something like that. And it's kind of always in my face. And there's also something about writing it down, neatly on a nice piece of paper that makes it feel a little more official. I kind of take it a little more seriously and don't switch things up throughout the week. I found that if I just write my weekly plan in my notes, or I kind of plan it out on some to-do list app or something, then it's like very easy to just kind of move things around, and you don't take it as seriously. Whereas it's like, I've written this on this paper, like I can't just drag it down or drag it to the next week. It's like it's more set in stone. And one thing that I'm definitely going to try and do once I move back home to my more regular setup is get a whiteboard. And I think it'll be really nice to kind of have this whiteboard up maybe in my workspace where I can really officially kind of establish the task that I'm going to do for that week. And it's always in my face. And there's something about putting it on this whiteboard that's like displayed on the wall for everyone to see that makes it look a little more official, and you kind of take it a little more seriously. So I'll pick out the highest leverage tasks that really move the needle forward towards my quarterly goals. And this tends to be, at least for my YouTube channel, just basically recording videos, planning out videos, maybe writing my newsletter, that type of stuff. I'll list those out here, and I'll also do this for my personal tasks. There's usually not too much that I need to do personally. Most of my personal things are just kind of spending time with friends, spending time with family, doing kind of my general habits and stuff. This week I did have written that I want to do kind of a finance review. So I haven't been too good about keeping track of my spending and finances throughout this year. So I need to do kind of like a big review, update my finance tracker spreadsheet and stuff like that. Also have planned to kind of clean up the apartment and pack, since I'll be going back to the DMV area this weekend. And I'll also, on this weekly plan, just write a couple of habits that I really want to focus on for this week. So last week I was kind of sick, didn't get much exercise, kind of fell out of my gym routine a little bit. So this week I really want to get back into the gym. So I wrote daily gym, 30 minutes, put a little star in there. Also trying to do some daily stretching and reading as well. But the gym one is kind of the big priority for this week. So yeah, once I've established these tasks, the next thing I'll do is open up my calendar, and I'll kind of roughly set some times/dates for me to do these tasks. And this is really just to kind of get an idea of when this stuff will get done. I recognize that more likely than not, even if I time block out my entire week right now with all these tasks, stuff is going to get shifted around. So I do that with that in mind. And it's more of kind of like an initial time block, just a rough mapping out of like, okay, I'll probably be able to get this video filmed on this day. I'll work on this project on this day, and I'll do this task on Friday or whatever. And that way I also can kind of see if it's realistic for me to actually get all this stuff done during the week, or if I need to maybe adjust my plan and be more reasonable about the amount of things that I'm going to try and get done. And that's pretty much it for the weekly review process. The biggest thing with this is just actually doing it. That's kind of the biggest challenge, is coming back every single week to actually do this weekly review. That's something that I struggle with for a while. I would have a weekly review process where it sounded nice, but it was a little too complex. I didn't really establish a clear system. It's like I knew I needed to do my weekly review, but what did that actually mean? I didn't lay out the steps and things, and that meant that I wouldn't actually do it. So that's the biggest thing. And there's a couple things I do to make sure that this weekly review actually does get done. As I said, the first one is just actually establishing the steps. So here I've literally written out, steps 1 through 9, sort through task inbox, clean out quick notes, read through values, review personal and professional plans, review quarterly plan, review my plan from last week to see what didn't get done, identify the big high leverage tasks for completing my quarterly plan, write them on a physical piece of paper or whiteboard, and then roughly time block them on the calendar. So I've established these steps, and now I know that when my weekly review time comes, I know exactly what I have to do. I start with that, looking through my inbox and keep moving through the system. So that's the first thing. And then the next thing is I have been trying to pick a really nice environment to do this weekly review to kind of make it more enjoyable and really turn it into a bit of a fun ritual. So if you're used to just always working at your desk and maybe you get kind of tired of that, go somewhere else for this weekly review. Maybe pick a unique place that you don't go at all throughout the week, but it's just where you go to do your weekly review. So maybe it's like your local park or local coffee shop or something, and you can turn it into kind of a fun experience. Maybe you have a nice bench or something that you sit on and it's under a tree and it's just a nice vibe, or you have your favorite coffee shop, you treat yourself to a nice hot latte or something, and you do your weekly review. And that'll just make the whole process of doing this kind of Sunday reset a lot more enjoyable and something that you can look forward to doing throughout the week. And that's really the key to building any sort of habit, is to make it fun, make it not too high friction or anything like that. And yeah, that's kind of what Sundays look like for me. I'll try to maybe turn in a little bit earlier to get some extra sleep to start the week off. But just to recap, really Sundays are about kind of slowing down, no rigid time blocking or intense schedule. I try not to do any sort of major work projects related to my day job or YouTube. And really the only main priority is just getting that weekly review done, which we just went through the whole process. I might sleep in up to 1 hour later. Don't want to mess up my circadian rhythm sleep routine, but I will allow myself to catch up a little bit on sleep. I'll try and spend more time outside, especially during these summer months, spend more time with friends, family, maybe do some extra kind of personal habits like reading, walking, journaling if I don't have any other plans that are taking up loads of the day. I'll also try and do some various errands, chores, cleaning up loose ends that aren't related to work. And as for exercise, try to do that outside. And yeah, that's basically my sort of Sunday reset routine. Helps me slow down and reset and recalibrate to set myself up for a successful week where I'm eager to get back to work and stay on track towards my goals. Let me know down in the comments what your Sunday reset routine is like. If you have one, what do you do every week to kind of stay on track? What's your process like? If you haven't seen the video on how I kind of organize my life and the system that I've been following, definitely check that out right here. As always, do something today that your future self will thank you for.